So I put my pattern underneath a piece of wax paper, and then I put tape on it, and I taped it down to this marble. This will keep it all in place for me, and I can build on top of this. And the wax paper will make it really easy to remove it after it's baked. I found that clay sticks to stuff very well, and it can be difficult trying to get it off, whatever surfaces you're baking it on. And I rolled out some clay on the KitchenAid pasta machine, setting 5. I feel this is a decent thickness to add stability to the structure and everything. And what I want to do is I want to encase it in a complete layer of clay the easiest way possible. And what I'm thinking, the best way to do that, I got one sheet right here. If I take another sheet and just lay it on top like this, I should be able to just press down all around it. It's long enough. That seems to be long enough. So I can just begin doing that right now. Bending clay in different angles and stuff causes weird stresses in it. So it's kind of tricky to do this in a way that is super easy but also clean. Just get it pretty close like this. You can see the impression that it's making. Try not to press it down on that other clay yet, so it can be wrapped around by something. I'm not worried about any kind of marks I'm making at all, because there'll be more clay that's going to go on this. My main focus is to try to get it pinched down at the bottom where the foil doesn't have any big huge gaps down there or air. This is a little different than how I did it last time with the lizard I made. I made a sushi. I called him Sushi, and I lost that lizard. It broke on me. The spoon seems to be working really well for this, because I'm able to roll it into the actual base of that, bulking the foil that I used to bulk it out. I'm giving it somewhat meaningful presses, just trying to get it in there where it'll stay and there's no air. One more extra piece of wax paper just to make this a little easier to do. Now I have an option. I can cut that all away or just start building and bulking out and then slice it away. I want it to be a little wider right here where it's got the belly and all. So this is all just going to be building it out. Well, actually I need to cut some of this away because I have no more clay. So let me cut some of this away. That way I have some clay to work with. Using a flat surface like that to build it on will give me a clean bottom where there's no seams or joins going on. I know there'll be some where the legs are going, but anything that makes it a little helpful, I think, is good. Okay, so now I can change the height and the width of the body using just pieces of clay. When I'm building out clay, I like to use guides. You could do that by just taking a piece of clay, I'm going to first work on the width, changing the width of the lizard. So what I need is a snake that's long enough to run down kind of both sides a little, not the entire length obviously. So it doesn't have to be too long, but it needs to be long enough to do what we're doing. Right. So how long is this? It's not very long. Would it be long enough to do the belly though? Absolutely. We can do that. So I'll just cut this in half, like this. And from here, I'm going to taper these ends. I'm applying pressure right here in this area. And now I can dome it, just avoiding the middle. I want to keep that height. Using a somewhat flat surface like this will help reduce putting dents in it with your fingers. It's a pretty good little taper right there. It's tapered on both ends. See how the difference is? This doesn't really do what I'm trying to do. I wanted it to be thicker in the belly area and taper off. It's just too long. The taper needs to happen sooner. It doesn't need to be as long. So I'll take these off. That's the benefit of just kind of putting it on there and looking. And we get to cut them down and roll it up a little bit more. I keep rolling this until the end of the ruler is pretty much on that table. That's how I know I'll have a tip or a sharp end. See, this is more of what I'm looking for. This will be a belly. Depending on where you apply the pressure on this, it really does change it dynamically. If you want really sudden tapers, just put all the pressure at the end and don't worry about the rest. But if you want it to be a gradual, then you would just spread your pressure out further in different areas. Maybe a little down. And for the inside corner, give me a little mark where I believe that this could be trimmed and redone. That kind of does it. Because I had the original thing was a taper. It actually tapered itself. But I wanted to change, make it seem like it has a belly on it. And these will just be guides to the new width to this area. And I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I'm going to just gently press in on this. Just working it to the sculpture. From here, I will just add other snakes in there. These also can be tapered, but super small, like this. This is helping close in that weirdness of having just basically snakes beside this giant snake, which these could be tooled. Now, these can actually be tooled in there, or I can opt to put an even tinier one next to it, which I think I'm going to do, just for fun. I want to make this have a belly, but I'm also making it a science where it could be, you could follow these steps and actually perform and make it different. It should be the same every time, something you can rely on, just working with shapes. We're working with shapes. Okay. This will go on top of that other one that we just did. They're progressively smaller. This may seem like an unusual way to do this, but we are in fact adding mass to this in a very scientific way that at least one of us can understand. It's how I'm doing it anyways. So from here, we can start tooling these. Let's try this. It's flat on one side, but it's curved on the other, really rounded, so that would go good for this. I just kind of did that top side somewhat to bring it to the body. And now I can roll it this way, bring it to the other snake. And I'll do the same thing to the one next to it. First compressing the top side of it, the outermost part. Before I get too ahead of myself, I'll do the same thing on this side. And this little tool is working well for this. It's a nice tool for this type of contour and curve. I got this tool at a flea market. You can find these a lot at flea markets. I got all these pretty much at a flea market. To the other side of the snake. And now for that middle. Now for the final part, this last little snake down here, the big one that I started with, I'll roll it up. I'll start halfway and just kind of roll it up to the other one. We're trying to lose that line where they come together. You see those lines have pretty much all but disappeared. It's going really well. And we made this wider. This made the belly wider for us. Now I'm going to take a drop of some softener, trying to float this out where it looks good. Work all these together to where they look like they're the same, like it's the same thing. Gotta be careful not to force too much clay at any given time, because it's just asking for damage. Something will mess up on you. Just gotta be patient and slow with it. Some of this clay is being floated, and some of it's being compressed and moved from pressure. So it's a combination of both those things that's making this look rather nice, in my opinion. There was natural dips and ripples in the foil, and I put the clay that I put on there wasn't too thick, so the more I press down on it, the more I'm going to reveal those dips and stuff in this clay. It's just something to note. Striking it with a tool will always help move the clay better than your thumb or your finger, because you're applying more pounds per square inch on a smaller area, which will move the area instead of the whole thing. This pretty much concludes part 2 to the Starry Midnight Lizard. We have the body formed. In part 3, I'll be doing the legs and feet, as well as bulking out the head and installing the eyes. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Until next time, I'll see you again real soon. Thank you so much.